And take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it and release through the mouth. And let all the tension leave your body. Feel your shoulders drop and your back release any tension. And let it just fall to the ground and blow away. And feel the peace. And on your next breath, take a big breath. Inhale. Hold it and release. And let your mind clear of any thoughts. And notice how you become more and more at peace, in a deeper sense of peace. Everything is perfect right now in this moment. So just sit and relax and listen to the song of the flute. And when I'm playing, pay attention to the notes. Also pay attention to the space between the notes. And when I stop playing, pay attention to the silence. And just sit in the silence and feel the peace and love that is in this now moment. And slowly, ever so slowly, start to bring your attention back into this room, back into your bodies. Start to be aware of your surroundings. Take a deep breath. Be aware of your breath. Exhale, inhale, exhale. You're coming back to this room. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes and move your head to side. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Does everyone feel at peace? Then my work here is done. Thank you so much for listening. I love each and every one of you. Namaste.
Thank you, Brian. Amazing as always. I don't know about you, but his meditations and that flute playing, that just reaches parts of me that don't get reached normally. You know what I mean? That's just really good. Yeah.
It's a primal sound. It reaches your primal state of your mind, away from all this technology and the crazy stress hell that we've created. I think that's why it takes you back.
Well, there you go. Thank you. For those of you who don't know, and I don't see that many unfamiliar faces, but I'm Bill. I'm here to continue our talk with the gifts of imperfection, cultivating intuition and trusting faith, letting go of our need for certainty, letting go of the certainty. I'm not sure I want to get rid of my certainty. I kind of like it. I mean, standing here right now today, I can tell you that I am 100% certain that you will learn something from my talk today. And I am 100% certain that you may even find this talk mildly entertaining. I'm also 100% certain that neither one of those things is going to happen.
It already has.
Which, yeah, but that, because there's a chance that it might not happen, that kind of explains the basis of my uncertainty every time I come up here. Every time I come up here, I just do not know how this talk is going to be received. You know, did I prepare well enough? Do I understand what I'm going to tell you? Is the presentation going to be logical and so you can grasp it? Are there going to be enough jokes? These are the things that I worry about, that I'm uncertain about when I come before you. And I would love to not be uncertain. Isn't that our goal? We as human beings, we love our certainty. But that uncertainty is going to be with us. It's with us all day long. As we go through our day, we make decisions to go from an uncertain point to a certain point. We do our tasks, we encounter new experiences. Uncertainty is all around us. And whether we realize it or not, our intuition, which is something we're going to talk about cultivating, makes most of those decisions for us, and we don't even know it. So, if I can work this thing, which button do I push? I don't know. Let's try this one. That one works. That's my talk today. Those are the subjects I will be covering. We're going to start with a mental puzzle. Psychologists, way back when in olden times, and I'm talking the 20th century, would say that intuition was something that did not require mental thought. It was independent of our reasoning process. But that's the old days, the dark ages. We live in the 21st century. We're modern, we're hip, we know what's going on, we understand more. And now sociologists tell us that intuition is actually a rapid fire, unconscious associating process that we do in our brain. Something happens and our brain immediately does a data scan. It checks all of our files. It goes into memories. It goes into knowledge. It goes into experiences. It goes into everything that's in there, trying to find matches for what is happening in front of us, trying to give us a context of this. Okay? And when it does that, it gives you a result that these psychologists have labeled a gut reaction. So when you get your gut reaction, know that it is a mental process that you just went through in a nanosecond. Now you can get some different results from these gut reactions. You can get a result that says, been there, done that, that was cool, no problem. You can get one that says, been there, done that, rather not do that again. Then you can get one that says, look out. Hell no, we're not going there. Would you like an example of that last one?
Sure.
Good, because I have a slide. Again, going back in time, back to the dark ages, I think the year was 2000. My wife and I traveled to Concord, North Carolina, to Charlotte Motor Speedway. It was then called Lowe's Motor Speedway, for a NASCAR race. It was a nighttime NASCAR race. So we'd never been to one before. We were very excited. We get there at the track. We go through all the vendor trucks and get all the souvenirs we want and that kind of stuff. And we start making our way to the track. Well, the track is on the other side of a 4-lane divided highway from where the vendors are. So you've got to cross the highway. Now there's many ways you can cross the highway that they provide. And the one that was closest to us was a pedestrian walkway that went over the entire 4-lane highway. So we said, okay, that's where we're going in. So we start walking on the bridge. As soon as my foot hit the bridge, my stomach went like that. I took a couple more steps. My knees started getting a little weak. By the time I reached the other side of that bridge, I was glad I made it because I wasn't kind of sure if I was going to be able to make another step. But as soon as I did get on the other side and got off of the bridge, I was fine. I thought, what the hell was that? When we came out of the race and we were going to go across the bridge, that's what the bridge looked like. The bridge had collapsed. During the race, sometime during the race or immediately thereafter, the end of the race, it collapsed. It had 106 people on the bridge when it collapsed. All of them were injured. About a third of them had to be taken to hospital. One man tragically died. That was my intuition telling me, look out, don't go there. Now, I stand before you today the luckiest dumb son of a bitch you've ever met. Because not only I'm lucky because I got all the way across the bridge. Dumb? I didn't listen to myself. I didn't hear myself say, don't do this, find another way. No. Push right through. Wow. But that's the worst end of the scenario. There's another end for your intuition, another result that you can get. And that's your intuition telling you it needs help. It doesn't have all the information it needs. All the puzzle pieces aren't there that they can put together to give you a good view of this situation you're in, the decision you have to make. So that's the gut reaction. We don't have enough information. Why do we need more information? Why couldn't we just let it go right there? I've already told you. It's because we want certainty. We want to know. It's got to be sure. We like sure things. We like guarantees. We're not going to let this drop. Nope. Not going to let it drop. We need more information. But now we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way because it's not in there, so we're going to have to put it in there. So we're going to have to do some research. This isn't working. There we go. We're going to have to do some old-fashioned brain work to find some missing pieces. We could go to Google. I mean, if all we're looking for is some knowledge, couldn't we if all go to Google? That'd fill the bill. What if we're looking for really something more along the lines of a relationship, something more that is more subjective than objective? And we're going to have to go somewhere else. We're going to have to go to a person. Go to someone you trust. Go to a wise old man or woman that could give you exactly the kind of feedback, exactly the kind of answers that you're looking for. You could go to find somebody like Ross. You go to Ross, he's a wise guy. And I mean that not as a wise guy, he's full of wisdom. And you go to him and you say, okay, Ross, here's my situation. What do you think? Yeah. What should I do, Ross? Do you think it's a good idea? You think I'd regret it? What would you do? These are the kind of questions you'd ask. Now, if he really is a wise man, the kind of answers he's going to give you are things like, I'm not sure what you should do. What's your gut say? And there it is, your gut, again. And now you have to kind of sheepishly sit back and say, well, I don't know what my gut says because we haven't really spoken in years. And the worst part of this is that the more people you ask, the more vulnerable you're going to feel, the more this I don't know my gut feeling is going to drag you down and down and down. And you're going to be beginning to feel that this situation is out of control. This decision I'm trying to make is getting further and further out of my grasp. But you know what you have to do. You have to forget about any outside knowledge coming in. You've got to trust your own intuition. Yes, you don't have a full picture. All the puzzle pieces aren't there. But you've got to trust your own intuition at this point. But again, We don't like doing that. Again, we're going to try to sabotage our own effort here. And the surest way to sabotage using your intuition is to try to force feed your immediate need for certainty into the situation. Don't do it. And by that I mean, don't rush into it. Slow down. You may feel like you need the answers now, in this moment. But actually what you need to do is you need to slow down. You need to take time for yourself. Maybe you need to do a reality check. Maybe all this thing that you're running down may have been a spur of the moment thing that you really don't want to do now. And something you can let go of. But that's not our nature. Our nature, like I said before, is certainty. So you're facing that big decision. You don't know what you're going to do. You're feeling vulnerable and frustrated. And now you're going to do it. And you're going to say things like this to yourself. You're going to say, I'm just going to do it because I don't care anymore. Heard that? How about, I'm tired of thinking about it. It's too stressful. Ever had a situation like that? How about, I'd rather just do it than wait for another second. The one that I really like is, I can't stand not knowing. I can't stand not knowing. Really? Really? You can't stand not knowing. Would you rather be standing knee-deep in a load of crap? Because that's what's going to happen when you rush headlong into a situation where you don't have all the answers. You don't even know what you don't know. And there you go, headlong into it. All because you were uncertain and you just wanted it to end. I've learned something since I've come to Unity. I've learned that it's okay not to know everything. And there's a lot of times I come up here to talk to you saying, okay, I'm going to give you everything I got, and I hope you don't ask any questions. But we have to get comfortable with trusting our intuition, even if we don't have all the pieces. We have to trust ourselves to know that even if we don't have all the pieces, we are going to do the best we can with the information we have. Is that all we can do? It's all anybody can do. So it's okay not to know. Now, did you know what the opposite of uncertainty is? It's not certainty. The opposite of uncertainty is presence, is staying in the moment, slowing down. You know, you may find that slowing down, not giving it the whole 100% effort that you were before, that all of a sudden you might find the universe will bring those answers right to you. Dr. Brown's definition of intuition is kind of long, but I'll go through it. She says, intuition is not a single way of knowing. It's our ability to hold space for uncertainty and our willingness to trust the many ways that we have developed knowledge and insight. Those ways being our instinct, our experience, our faith, and our reason. Faith and reason. I didn't know they were compatible. Aren't they natural enemies? Faith and reason? I mean, I thought faith was a belief in something that cannot be proven. And reason is our ability to think and understand, form judgments using logic. So those two don't go together, do they? Susan's sitting here smiling because she knows, yeah, they do. They cross paths. Of course they do. Dr. Brown, in her book, says that the reason that we think they don't is because we put them at odds ourselves. And what puts it at odds for us, again, is our need to always be right and our need for absolute certainty. So if you're looking at faith being the acceptance of certain things without any real proof, and reason is the way to get that proof, you got to figure they're not the same. But in fact, she says there's no such thing as faith versus reason. Both sides use faith. Both sides. Because faith does not mean an absence of reason or an absence of the scientific method. It doesn't even have to mean believing in things not seen. It could simply mean putting your hope in. For example, if you're a scientist and you put your hope in, or you put your faith in your scientific method and your reasoning. Let's look at a different example. Intelligent design versus evolution. Okay? What differentiates those two isn't that one has faith and the other doesn't. They both have faith. What differentiates the two is where they choose to put their faith. What do they put their faith in? Religion, intelligent design, puts its faith in the Bible, and the Bible's certainty. Otherwise, we would put our faith in science and its reasoning. So it's what you put your faith in that is the important thing. Not that you have faith. Faith by itself is powerless. Because you have to have faith in something. There's the power. Now she goes on to give us a definition of faith. She says faith is a place of mystery where we find the courage to believe in what we cannot see and the strength to let go of our fear of uncertainty. So we have to let go. We have to let go and we have to get going. This book, and I don't know if any of you have copies of this, but this book is, the underlying theme really in it is something called Wholehearted Living. I'm sure Reverend Ron has mentioned it before. And it's a daily choice, this wholehearted living, to embrace your courage, practice your compassion, seek your connection both within yourself and with others. And it's like our 5 principles, it's something that you can't do once and done. You're going to do it and do it and do it and do it. And it is very similar to our 5 principles. Now, when you have faith or you have intuition, it's something that something that you can't really explain, I don't think. Not because we're all a little different. So if you have trouble with it, it's okay. This is Giorgio Tsoukalos from Ancient Aliens, In Search Of. He has trouble with intuition, but aliens started everything, so he's okay with that. I just got some parting thoughts here. These are from me. These are from the book. In this day and age of computers and big stores of data, and everybody afraid of losing their data and everything, but who they are. In business, if you're saying something that, I like this because my gut tells me, that in today's world is kind of dismissed. We have the data to show. I don't care what your gut says. Our polling shows this, and this is where we're going, even though you may have a gut feeling. But recent research, again, in our wonderful 21st century, the studies have shown that if you can combine that gut feeling with your analysis of your situation and your analytical thinking and come out to the same conclusion, you're going to come to that conclusion faster. It's going to be a better solution than you would have thought of if you're just thinking with your brain and not using your whole body. I think that's the reason, is that you're not putting all of you into this situation. And as far as uncertainty goes, my take of uncertainty is that, you say the word uncertainty and people immediately think of negative, right? The unknown has always been kind of looked at as negative. I think we should try something different. I think we should try to look at anything that happens that we're uncertain of. If you have a path we don't know if we should take or not, instead of looking at it as something that we need to put the pieces together, why don't we look at it as just a possibility rather than an uncertainty? You've come across this situation. Instead of wallowing in, I don't know what I'm doing. What doors has this opened up for me? Where's the possibilities? That's where you're going to grow. That's where you're going to go. So, again, that's what I say about uncertainty. As far as faith goes, I believe that there is a spiritual aspect to our world, to our being, that is invisible, that we can't see. But I also believe that we are part of something that is so much bigger than us that we can't even imagine how much bigger it is. I believe that our spirit is so much more than we can ever manifest in this human experience. And I don't come by that belief, that faith, blindly. It's a choice. It's a choice I made based on the things that I have seen and the things that I've experienced personally. So, however you define your faith, in my view, will determine how you live and experience your life, because that's exactly what my faith is doing. So I'm going to leave you with this. May your faith guide you in living fully, loving wastefully, and being all that you can be. So thank you for your kind attention. Stay safe, be well, and namaste. There you go, Bob.